guys, this is Christy, also known as Enoshima Cosplay. I'll be appearing at the Melbourne Toy and Comic Con on October 21st. I'll be helping out at the Tin Universe table, so make sure you stop by. We can talk about cosplay, we can take some photos, and you can even purchase a print from me if you'd like. There's also going to be a Naruto-themed giveaway if you're interested. So I hope to see you there.
Please don't fear me, because I know what I want. Please deliver me that soft part of your soul that makes you freeze time, staring in at yourself. It's time to step outside onto the path you once made. Let me so I can find all your tears. I can mend you so you can function again. I was where you are in oblivion. I know that you feel alone. You got to ask yourself where you are now. It's where you are now. It's where you are now.
Do you want to hear something strange? Sabrina and Ken first met at a protest rally protesting, as protesters at rallies do, a proposal in the Texas legislature that would create a prison intended to harbour beyond humans for life if they ever used their powers for any reason against any regular humans in the state of Texas. This was the first step in America's series of beyond human laws. It's one of the most dividing hotbed issues in the country to this day. These laws are also one of the few issues that are a blister boil on the rest of the world as well, since a good deal of countries are following the United States' lead on this. Half of the country thinks it's the worst thing to ever happen to America. Another group thinks the laws still haven't gone far enough. And then you have the ones who are just ignoring what's going on. It makes them feel better doing that. Ken and Sabrina were in that phase most college students go through, where you think the world can be shifted with a well-worded protest sign. Those are the times you are surprised by hatred and intolerance, and get excited to the point of being overwhelmed when someone agrees with something you say. At the time when they first met, both of them were attending the University of Texas. And during this time, the state had become the hotbed of conservative power plays which turned many a university into bastions of young liberal thinking. Sabrina was majoring in nursing and child health care. Ken was majoring in English. Those two facts just show how ordinary they started out their academic lives. He was also starting first baseman for the college baseball team, and that's a pretty big deal, starting for the Texas baseball team. Football might be the religion of Texas, but the university's baseball team has taken its bite also. Maybe if football is Texas's religion, then baseball is its poetry. Lined up to be a 4-year starter and a professional prospect, Ken was kicked off the baseball team for attending the rally, and Sabrina was part of the group who later pushed to get him reinstated. They pushed, but failed. But all of this was before they discovered their special beyond human connection. Ken and Sabrina might be the argument to some people being destined to be together, even if they are the very worst person for the other to be with. After the law in Texas passed, Sabrina and Ken moved away with a few friends to live out of state. Getting away from the mecca of the right wing, some would say. That statement alone contains a lot of youthful stupidity. For about a year, Ken, Sabrina, and their friends all lived together in a small 3-bedroom house. The house had belonged to someone's mum or dad or grandma who'd abandoned it because it really wasn't in a good enough shape to try and fix up and sell. They were allowed to stay there rent-free until it fell down around them. Only a few of them worked any sort of job, but all of them fucked. These weren't triangle or V relationships. The lines drawn between all the fucking going on resembled an Etch-a-Sketch in the hands of a baby. But it was home for Sabrina and Ken, and also the nearest thing to a hippie house you could ever find in a state like Virginia. Even Texas can have its hippies. Virginia only is freshly run out of state hippies. It was during their time living in the house that some might call a commune that they started dating outside of just being fuck buddies, as had been the case up to that point. Sabrina and Ken, as most of the others in the house, traded sexual partners to the point where everyone had done just about everything with everyone else. Bored with this lifestyle, Sabrina asked Ken if he wanted to start dating her, and just her. Ken went with his heart right there and smiled at her. They had lots of sex that night. They also discovered on that night something weird and powerful about their connection. The house did fall down around them.
Give a listen to the podcast series Brain Leakage as we live podcast every single episode of Doctor Who from An Unearthly Child on. Yes, today is a set point in time. You can't change that. Not even a Time Lord could. Brain Leakage on Tin Pod Radio.
We hope you've enjoyed this 10-pod radio fiction audio production narrated by Stacey Taylor. You can find Stacey on Twitter at StaceBobT, and her podcast is popcultureparlor.podbean.com. This story is written by Brian C. Williams, edited by Christina Caceres, copyrighted 2017, System Productions.